Good afternoon and welcome everybody to our Pitching eForum Health 3.0. Yes, indeed, this is the third edition of the Pitching Forum that we are organizing under the umbrella of the InvestHorizon Accelerator. It's a pleasure from my side to moderate this session. My name is Denica, and together with my colleague Victoria, we'll be here for you this afternoon during our hour and a half and seeing 6 companies to pitch their companies in front of you. Before we start, I want to just let you know a little bit more about the InvestHorizon program. This is an acceleration program that started in June 2019, and we are finishing now in December 2021. The program is financed by the European Commission in association with the RECA, and we from Tech Tour are the coordinating partner, together with our other partners from BPI France, Meta, BWCon, Eura, EBN, and Ellcie Business School. We are delivering free services for 500 startups that were selected from all over Europe and associated Eureka countries. Before we start the session, very important housekeeping rules. We started recording this session. In case you would like not to be recorded, please let us know. Indicate that into the chat, so we'll stop the recording while you're pitching. After that, I would like to ask you to rename yourselves and put there your name and the organization you are representing. It's easier to see who is in the room and to get to know each other. In order to shorten the distance, please feel free to stay with your camera on, and in the meantime to be muted, so microphone off, so we have a better quality of the conversations. And last but not least, please use the chat functionality anytime you have a question, raise it in the chat. And later on, when the investors are asking their questions to the companies, please again use the chat functionality so we know the order of the questions. Without further ado, what we have created here is a program. We are already in the very first minutes of the opening, and after that we will go forward to our investors and experts in the room. We'll give each of them 30 seconds for an introduction, and after that we'll move to the pitching session. We have, as I mentioned, 6 companies there, and the topic of the day is MedTech and digital health, as we have medical devices and wearables as a subtopic. During these pitches, we are going to ask each of the expert jury members to fill in a feedback, which is anonymous feedback, and it will help the companies to see where is their position given the criteria we have in the evaluation form. So we are going to share a link into the chat once we start with the pitching, which is actually in a couple of minutes. Yeah, without further hesitation, in the chat, my colleague is going to share the link for the evaluation form, and we can start with the pitching. Actually, with the introductions first. We have some participants already present into the room. We'll start alphabetically with the surname of the participants, and I would like to invite one by one each of them to introduce themselves. I can see that Sasha is maybe still not there. He will be a couple of minutes late.
I'm there. I'm here already.
Okay, wonderful. Please start with the intro. You have 30 seconds to introduce yourself, Sasha. So let us know a couple of sentences about you.
Yeah, great. Thanks. Thanks for having me. My name is Sasha Fritz. I'm with Robert Bosch Venture Capital, and one of the responsible guys also within RBVC related to the healthcare topics. So I'm in the investment space since 10 years. Meanwhile, RBVC is a global investor representative in the US, in Europe, and in China. And typically on A and B round focus with ticket sizes up to 10 million initially, and looking forward to the pitches today and to spot interesting companies, technologies, and founders. Thanks.
Thank you, Sasha, for the intro. I can see that Roel Dekkers is with us as well. Hi, Roel. Would you like to go next with the intro?
Yes, of course. Hi. Thank you for having me. I'm Roel Dekkers. I'm with NextGen Ventures. We're a Dutch investment firm focused on early stage health IT and MedTech companies that are based in the Netherlands. Nevertheless, I'm looking forward very much to the sessions today and tomorrow to spot some great new innovative ideas. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I go over to Philippe for a short intro from Zannoli Ventures.
Hi, hello. My name is Philippe. I am from Zannoli Ventures. We are a single family office based in Hesse in Germany. We do invest into startups in the area of digital health, medtech, and diagnostics in early stage up to from business angel rounds up to smaller mid-sized Series A rounds. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Philippe. I can see that Klaas Heise from NRW Bank is with us this afternoon. Hello, Klaas.
Yeah, hello, Denitsa. Thank you. I'm Klaas Heise. I'm responsible for the venture capital business of NRW Bank. We are the promotional bank, so a public investor, government sponsored investor in the German state of North Rhine-Westphalia. And we invest across all industries in early stage and later stage, but companies have to have one foot in our home state, which, by the way, is actually the largest state of Germany and comparable in size and inhabitants and economic power with the Netherlands. So that shouldn't be too small of a region. Thank you.
Thank you, Klaas. I go over and give the word to Peter. Peter, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Peter Lamike. I'm currently in Singapore, venture partner with RTI Ventures. Our focus is on MedTech, digital health, deep tech, with the presence in Silicon Valley, Luxembourg, Hong Kong, Tel Aviv, and Singapore, obviously. We generally focus on the early stage, seed, pre-seed, Series A, rarely Series B. Founders looking forward to these pitches.
Thank you, Peter. Jonas, would you like to go next?
Yeah, I'm Jonas Jendi. I work for Industrifonden. Industrifonden is a Nordic evergreen venture capital fund. We invest across the Nordics in life science and tech. We are seed agnostic, stage agnostic, but we primarily do seed and Series A investments across the entire life science spectrum. So looking forward to the presentations. Thank you.
Thanks, Jonas. I go over to Johan, if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Okay, hello. This is Johan Mercadal from Peyrard Capital in Barcelona, Spain. We found this, our fund is specialized in MedTech and biotech, and we plan to invest in companies ticket size 200 million in the first stage, and up to 2 million, 4 million in the second time. Hello, everybody.
Thank you so much for the intro. I can see that we have in the meantime Antoine from Capricorn with us as well. Good afternoon.
Yes, hello, good afternoon. Sorry, I had still some Wi-Fi issues and that's why I'm too late. So, but I suspect that we need to introduce myself. So working for Capricorn Partners, we're a company based in Leuven where we invest in coded and non-coded companies. Myself, I work for a Capricorn Digital Growth Fund where we invest in digital companies, and digital health is one of the main sectors we like to invest in. Just that you know, so we mainly invest seed Series A rounds. So we're starting from tickets between 1 and 2 million euro, but can go up to 5 million euro. Wish is everybody good luck for this afternoon.
Thank you so much for the intro. Let's move to the next page with the jury members. I can see that Joseph is the first one on this row. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks so much, Denitsa, for having me here. I'm Joseph Makano here. I run Verge Health Tech Fund, which is a seed stage only global fund that invests in technology solutions that increase access, quality, and efficiency to healthcare. So we do have a strong impact angle. We like to write checks of around 250 to 500K, and we've invested in 12 companies so far. We've all been entrepreneurs in the past, and we do believe in being quite hands-on with the companies we do invest in. And we do, seed is very subjective these days. I mean, I've heard seed defined just in this conversation as, 100 to 1 million. So we like to say we come in first or second round of any investor. Thanks for having me here and looking forward.
Thanks for the intro. I can see that Christine is with us from Gaia Medcare.
Yes, hello, good afternoon. My name is Christine Miller. I'm with the Gaia Medcare. We are not the typical VC fund. We really focus very much on fully financing hardware to enable startups to offer recurring revenue models, especially those with a software hardware combination product. And we provide actually large scale programs for up from 5 million up to 20 if needed, or more actually, active in the US and in Europe. And yeah, so looking forward to the pitches.
Thank you, Christine.
Thank you.
I give the word to Shamik from Octopus Ventures to introduce himself.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Shamik, one of the investors at Octopus Ventures. We're an agnostic fund, but I work within the health tech pod, where we focus on pretty much anything digital health and health tech related. Typical check size between £1 to £5 million, and look at Series A as our sweet spot. But as Joseph mentioned, there is seed. Seed also tends to be quite later on and quite larger check sizes as well. But we often look at Series A and can go up to Series B as well.
Thank you. Thank you for the intro. I would like to invite Kusta to introduce himself.
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Kusta Piha, and I'm from Athens, Finland, and I have a background of as a medical doctor and a serial entrepreneur, founding and running companies from 0 to more than 100 million in revenues. Now I run my family office and invest in MedTech and digital health, late seed, early A, and focus in the Nordics, but other Europe is okay too.
Thank you. Thank you for the intro. I go over to Carlo.
Hi. Yes, yeah. I'm working for Intaco Venture Partners, that is the largest independent Italian VC. We have a strong focus on MedTech and digital health, but we are also investing in other two important verticals. It's electronics and robotics and digital transformation. We have about 250 million under management, and we are usually investing in tickets in between around a couple of million, and the total investment in one company in between 5 and 10 million euros.
Thank you, Carol. I think we have covered more or less our investors and jury members that are currently in the room. If I have missed somebody, please unmute yourself and give us a short intro. Otherwise, we can move forward with the pitching part. And thank you so much. Let's see what we have here. And here are our 6 companies of the afternoon. We are going to have 2 ladies and 4 gentlemen, and we are going to invite our first presenter, Emiliano from Recornea, on the stage. So I'm stop sharing my screen. Emiliano, whenever you're ready.
Yeah. You should be able to see my screen. She's full screen now.
Perfect.
Super. Sight is the most important sense for human beings. Today, I would like to talk to you about a progressive eye disease affecting more than 218 million eyes at the worldwide level, with a prevalence 10 times higher in Middle East and Asia compared to Europe and US. This is how these patients are seeing this slide right now. The disease they are suffering from is called keratoconus. Their corneas are deformed due to a double mechanism of weakening of the collagen fibers and thinning of the cornea itself, which is leading to a protrusion of the central part of the eye and leading to a very poor quality of vision. Being a progressive eye disease, we have 1.8 million new eyes to be treated every year, in particular stage 2 to 4, which is our target group of patients. We have a total addressable market slightly bigger than 1 billion annually at the worldwide level, and we are targeting a market share of 18% by year 5. The problem that these patients have to go through right now is a combination of 2 surgical techniques, the cross-linking and the intracorneal ring segments. The cross-linking is a quite effective pharmacological treatment in limiting the progression of the disease. The intracorneal ring segments are, on the other side, non-effective in at least 50% of the keratoconus cases. Being a progressive eye disease, if left untreated, this disease will lead to total blindness, which then means the need of a corneal transplant, a procedure emotionally and psychologically intense with long waiting lists to which just 3% of the keratoconus patients have really access to. And in any case, there are costs and risks associated with the procedure very high. So what we have developed at Recornea is the first nitinol-based corneal implant to treat the keratoconus efficiently, the Grosso implants, where the uniqueness is in the curvature of the device, similar to the physiological curvature, and the corneal tissues by the device for a complete recovery of vision. We are placing the Grosso implant in direct competition with the intracorneal segments, and we are targeting specifically patients at stage 3 and 4 of keratoconus, where there is a lack of current solutions and are already accounting for 47% of the total market. We are then going to reach patients also at stage 2 for a total counting of 80% of the total market. The device is already developed with the contract manufacturer certified 13485. The patents are granted in Italy and extended in the 8 geographies that you see listed in the slide. We have already conducted preclinical studies on both explanted human corneas and explanted big eyes to validate the ability of the device to remodel a very standard surgical procedure. This is done in the 2 hospitals, IMO in Barcelona in Spain and the Hospital of Toulouse in France, partners with us in the Fast Track to Innovation grant we got from the European Commission. I'm Emiliano, I'm the CEO. I have background in biomedical engineering. Recornea is my 3rd startup, and the first 2 ones we exited through an IP business model. I had experience in MedTech and biotech in Europe, Japan, and Singapore. Moses, the CSO, has a background in biochemistry and more than 10 years of experience in running clinical trials in both medical devices and biopharmaceuticals in Uganda, UK, and Singapore. Arcadio and Thomas are complementing the team on the regulatory affairs and manufacturing. We received 2 pre-seed rounds from Entrepreneur First in Singapore and G-Factor from Italy. On the advisory board, we have Aldo Coquiglia on the business side, helping on all the business activities. He has long experience with successful exits, specifically in the field of ophthalmology. Gael, Malekazé, and Grosso are the key opinion leaders on board in Recornea and helping us with the pilot clinical trial. We are building a network of key opinion leaders also in other geographies, helping us on the product validation and then on the marketing and commercialization. We are now in the preclinical trial, in the preclinical phase, and the milestones in the next 18 months to end the preclinical and the pilot clinical trial to get then the CE mark at the end of 2024 for the market launch in Europe first. We have a 1.6 million euro grant from the European Commission. And on the top of the grant, we are fundraising for 500,000 euros to bring us up to the end of the pilot clinical trial. In terms of exits, Avedro in the field of cross-linking with UV for keratoconus was acquired in 2019 for $500 million. We have LOI signed with companies and ophthalmic distributors in different geographic areas for a final selling price 600 to 1,000 euros. We were in the top 5% most innovative companies in Europe winning the European grant, and last year also in the top 10% in the Asia Pacific with MedTech Innovator. Thank you, and we are open for your questions.
Thank you, Emiliano, for the presentation. I'm opening the floor for questions from the experts, jury members in the room. And actually, the first question is waiting for you in the chat. Royal, would you like to unmute yourself and ask the question?
Yes, of course. So my question regards to the implant. Do you expect it to be a one-size-fits-all implant? So there's just one device that you need to clinically validate and get, well, recognized by the authorities, or are there different implants necessary?
So right now we are considering one size specifically for the pilot and the pivotal clinical trial. We are then going to expand to around 8 to 10 sizes in order to fit different eyes in different geographical areas, but at least for the Western world, I mean, we are considering that one size could be appropriate to fit at least the most severe cases that we were mentioning in stage 3 and 4.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Who would have the next question? You can either indicate it in the chat, or if you prefer, unmute yourself and ask the question. In the meantime, Emiliano, you can supplement some information, but I can see that Peter has a question. Peter?
Yeah, nice presentation, Emiliano. Can you talk more about competitive solutions or competitors in your business model?
Sure. So in terms of competitors, what we have in terms of devices available right now are called intracorneal ring segments, which are primarily used for patients at stage 2 and partially for patients at stage 3. The main limitation is of the device currently available on the market, which is 3 to 6 times higher compared to our device. So thanks to the material that we are using, nitinol, and the shape memory, we are able to reduce a lot the thickness, and so the level of to be really minimally invasive. In terms of other solutions available, the cross-linking is effective just in limiting the progression of the disease. So this is a very important distinction. I mean, we are in the field of improving vision in a very predictable way. Cross-linking is the only option for now in terms of stopping the progression. Regarding the second part of your question, the business model, we have currently more than one contract manufacturer, both certified 13485, and we have LOIs signed with both ophthalmic companies and distributors of ophthalmic products in different geographical areas. In particular, AJL and Medifacos are the companies who are the manufacturers of intracorneal ring segments, so the device, the competitor device that we were mentioning before. Ophtec is a very mid-size company in the Netherlands producing IOLs, so for cataract surgery, and the synergy with them is really in terms of being complementary and synergic on terms of product portfolio. Mandarin Optomedic is the largest distributor based in Singapore and covering Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, and Indonesia, specifically for ophthalmic products. And Rainer is another manufacturer of IOLs in UK. So these are the companies who are supporting us with letters of intent with the interest in the commercialization distribution of the Grosso implant.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Thank you for the answers, Emiliano. So fast, our 9 minutes already gone. Okay. So we'll give the floor now to the second company to present, and this will be Philippe, who is the next presenter. Philippe, whenever you're ready, you can share the screen. And just to remind the expert jury members that they have also a link to the evaluation form that they can fill in then later or now as they prefer. Thank you, Philippe. We can see your screen whenever you're ready.
Okay for me. So hello, everyone. I'm Philippe Peyrard, 60 years old, but only a 5-year-old startup. And I'm going to speak about smart connected frames that are what I'm wearing today. The opportunity we see in this market is just that more than 75% of adults do wear glasses with prescription. And when you are speaking of senior people, it's above 90%. The problem we are solving is the fact that we do need, especially for elder, but for everyone, to have some health monitoring all day long, and no device today can do what we can do with glass. That means glasses as a service. Our frame exists in different shapes, different colors. They are light, comfortable, neither ugly nor heavy, only 26 grams. Their autonomous is 24 hours. The public price is under 400 euros, and it communicates with a smartphone with Bluetooth Low Energy. We have 15 sensors already embedded that can help to capture physical, physiological, and environmental data. We already have 15 patents filed, and 4 of them have been already granted, 2 in USA and 2 in Europe. And now we are working on the second generation, which is the reason I'm here to find funds. Today we can have different use cases: activity tracking, fall detection, drowsiness detection, fall prevention, and with the new generation, we can have some vital information about temperature and about ECG. All those information are non-intrusive data. It will help everyone in the B2B2C value chain, the wearers, the insurance company, caregivers, and assistants. Every single use case, every vertical we are working on has been medically and scientifically proven about drowsiness, about fall, and about also site monitoring. Today, we already have the product on the market since more than 1 year, and we are working on the second generation of glasses with the new sensors we want to embed it. We do not have a real competitor because on the one hand, you've got some devices, but that are not wear on the head. And of course, you can understand that this is something very particular to be on the head, because you can have site monitoring, and site is not only the reflect of your soul, but it's a reflect of your health. And the other frame you have on the market, they are not able to capture information during the day. You need to be able to have a ride, and it's not comfortable for the patient. We've got a 20 people team with experience. Average is 40 years for the operational committee. We have a strategic committee from all over France, Europe, and even United States, with our special advisor, Raphael Michel, who's working at Google X. And in addition to the 20 people working at Ellcie, we do have 20 more people working in the partner we have, laboratories and hospitals. Already 15,000 units sold. In one use case about fall, we could save 70 billion euros per year with only 225 million invested. Our model is about sale of glass, monthly fee, and data management. We are looking for 3 million euros. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much for the presentation, Philippe. We are opening now the floor for the questions from the expert jury members in the room. Please just indicate your question in the chat, or if you prefer, go with unmuting yourself.
I would have one. This is Sasha. So thanks, Philippe, for the presentation. So I would have especially the question regarding the differentiation compared to the other existing wearable solutions you have mentioned. So on the one hand side this, and on the other hand side, how you differentiate your technologies compared to other smart glasses solution providers that are existing on the market and could enter as well by applying different sensors.
Well, in fact, the other frame you have on the market are dedicated to only one use case, either drowsiness, for example, like Optalert, either eye gaze monitoring, like Tobii, but none of them has got our 15 sensors for the time being and about 20 next year. So this enables us to capture much more data driven by intelligence-driven algorithm, and then helping to aware people of and predict what they could have as a risk.
Okay.
And we are the only one with a little battery, you know, and we do not need anything else to capture data during one full day.
Thank you, got it.
Hey, Philippe, how do you address the issue of multiple devices being simultaneously linked to the software? As you know, currently none of the wearables allow you to simultaneously sync multiple devices, and you know, the way I see it, I would not wear single pair of glasses whole day. I might have a reading glasses, I might have a different glasses. So how do you address the issue of simultaneous syncing of multiple devices?
Well, in fact, of course, as you point out, maybe we cannot address 100% of the market, but as I'm wearing, I do have some progressive lenses. So I do wear my frame all day long. And in addition to that, if I go outdoor, I do have some solar clips that can help.
Thank you.
Sorry, have you thought of implementing it in a workplace where safety glasses are mandatory for safety, and combined it with the monitoring of health?
That's a very good question. Thank you, Peter. In fact, we are working on this kind of device, and we will add, you know, something on a side that enable us to have what we call EN 166 certification that avoid some liquid and solid projections. And this is made also, we do have some pilots. I went through quite quickly, but we have some pilots with a lot of isolated worker companies, such as Collab, Bouygues, etc. Veolia.
Thank you. I would like to invite Klaus Heise to ask his question, and then we have one more.
Yeah, thanks, Denitsa. Very interesting presentation, interesting product, Philippe. Actually, I would like to know a little bit more how you want to bring these glasses to market. Are you selling it yourself? Are you selling it through doctors, through opticians, hearing aid firms, offices? What is your take on that?
Well, in fact, we have different ways addressing the market. We began in France with opticians. We are distributed in more than 1,200 boutiques. We are in the Nordic countries trying to go through also optics, but we have also two new ways that are, on the one side, B2B, as we just spoke about isolated workers, and the second issue is being promoted by insurance, because as you saw, insurer really would save a lot of money using our frames. When I said that elderly fall cost 50,000 euro for one people, of course, insurance with elderly we do have in Europe and all over the world would really need to use our frames.
Would it be health insurances? Health insurance companies?
Yes, health insurance. And
Thanks.
also maybe the assistance company, because since our wearable is very accurate, it will save a lot of calls, because you know, one big problem with the device are the false positive. And since we are on the head, it's the data is much more accurate than any other thing, watches, etc.
Thank you so much. We are really over time, but I will leave Leza to ask this question because I see she has already 6 years of working experience on this case.
Yeah, hi Philippe. I've been working on your exact use cases, but in the context of integration into safety, security, and surveillance systems. And what you describe is a very hot process if you're integrating algorithms on the edge into that device. How are you overcoming that heat problem?
Excuse me, I didn't get the point, please.
Yeah, I understand you're integrating algorithms on the edge to deliver these at the real-time analysis perspective, right?
Yes, and so we have a neuronal network inside the frame that help us to calculate and to launch an alert if needed.
Yes, they generally run very hot. How are you keeping the heat down in order to be able to deliver that level of neural network compression on the frame?
Well, this is a very technical question, and I would need the help of my CTO to answer you, but I will take your address and tell that to you, because we are using our frames since more than 1 year and with no problem, no doubt.
So can I just ask one last question? Is that anomaly detection you're delivering? So you're just alerting your machine that there's an anomaly, or you're actually doing the processing on the glass?
We are doing all the processing on the glass.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you. I can see that there is a high interest, but I would need to advise you to answer the questions into the chat, Philippe, because we are going over time and we do not want to skip the others as well.
Okay,
thank you so much. I encourage you also either to use the chat functionality or to schedule a one-to-one meeting through our platform. So this is also another opportunity to use it. Our next presenter will be actually the company number 3. And we have Johan here with us this afternoon. So whenever you're ready, Johan, you can share your screen.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, my name is Johan Ungerstedt. I'm the CEO of Developeration. I will introduce to you a new innovative device for treatment of hemorrhoids called PEX-Easy. So let's start with talking about hemorrhoids. It's a very common disease. It affects more than 1/4 of the population over 50 years to such a degree that they need some kind of treatment. But the treatment available have all different kind of problems. Either they create a lot of pain during or after the procedure, have a high frequency of recurrency or complications like bleeding, infections, or the procedure take a long time and requires anesthesia, and this creates a high cost. Well, PEX-Easy solve all these problems. It's based on a well-documented treatment method called mycopexy, where the hemorrhoids are lifted back to the normal position by sutures, and this makes the hemorrhoid to swell down and get rid of the problem. So you can summarize PEX-Easy as a semi-automatic sewing machine that perform this mycopexy treatment in a much faster and easier way. It's a single. Now something happened. I'm sorry. There. It's a single-use device used for treatment of both grade 2 and 3 hemorrhoids, which stands for 90% of all the operation cases. It doesn't require any anesthesia, so it can be done as an office procedure, and that lowers the cost with 70%. It only takes 10 minutes, so the clinic can perform 3 to 4 times more patients every day. It also, the suturing is standardized, so you get perfect depth and the width every time, which will give better results and also much easier to learn. And that will give a short learning curve, which also will facilitate market entry. If you look on the market used, well, only for hemorrhoid devices, it was estimated to $650 million in 2018 and will grow with 6% every year to almost $1 billion in 2025. Due to all the benefits with PEX-easy, we'll be able to take over small parts from all the existing methods, but if you summarize them, we will be able to address 25% of the market. At the moment, we have finalized the design, so we're ready for serial production. We have done a validation of the design on an animal study, and we have an accepted patent, and based on that, we have several international patents pending and 2 more EU patents pending. We're planning for a clinical investigation in the beginning of next year and CE mark during 2022 for a planned market introduction in 2023. We have a broad competence in our team, all from surgery, clinical research, and business management. And our advisory board, we have experience from both MedTech business, colorectal surgery, and also healthcare management. I would like to highlight our quality and regulatory manager, Urban Ungerstedt, who has a background as a professor in pharmacology at the Karolinska Institute, with several experience from clinical trials, but also his own startup in the MedTech field as a founder and CEO of CMA Market Analysis. On top of that, we have an established network of consultants, but also an already established partnership with all the manufacturers that will produce the parts of PEX-easy. It is estimated they will cost 2.8 million euros to bring PEX-easy to the market, and we have already secured 0.8 million euros. And now we're having an investment round of 2 million euros that will cover the serial production, clinical investigation, and CE mark registration, but also market introduction preparations. So we're planning for a market entry in the European Union in 2023 with a sale price of 600 euros. We will sell PEX-easy through distributors, and we're aiming for the American market in 2026 and the Asian market in 2028. Our exit strategy is basically prove that it works, prove that it sells, and thereby we build value to the company so we can attract a large MedTech company for a collaboration or acquisition. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Johan, for the presentation. We have the first question waiting for you in the chat. Class, would you like to go?
Yeah, thank you. So this is definitely a condition or an ailment that at least the patients probably do not want to think about a lot or do not want to speak about. No. So how can you do good marketing about such a product, or to whom actually will you target your marketing?
The target is toward the clinics that perform these procedures. So I don't want to release to these to general practitioners or anything like that. I want surgeons to do the procedure. So the target is private and government or public healthcare.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you for this question. Any other questions to Johan, please? You can type down in the chat or directly unmute yourself and ask.
Does your solution reduce the time of the procedure? And the second question is the 600 euros for the device, is there any replenishable parts of it that are being, constantly provided, or this is just one unit?
The time of surgery is reduced to less than 10 minutes, and the procedure that will give equally good results takes like 30 to 60 minutes and are then also performed in an operation theater. And so we have to switch the patients in the operation theater, and that takes like 30 to 60 minutes on top of the procedure time. So, but here you can do a patient every 20 minutes in an office procedure. So the clinics save a lot of time. So the price of 600 euros, that's comparable to the other devices that are sold. But the lower cost is done for the customers. So since you don't have to do the procedure in the operation theater, that costs somewhere between $25 to $35 every minute. You can do it in the office procedure where it costs like 120 euro something. So that is the cost benefit. So we earn the same amount, but our customers save a lot of money. And what was the 600 euros? It's a single-use device. Yes, is what the device costs.
So it's a one-time sale.
One-time sale.
You don't have any cartridges or anything like that will you continuously supply?
We have a recyclable battery pack. We want to be more environmental than our competitors that throw away a battery for every procedure. So we have a battery pack that is recyclable that will be able to be used in about 30 operations. So you can use a normal AAA battery.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Carlos speaking. I was wondering something about the competition and the patents, because of course it's quite important to be protected from others. If you can comment on that, please.
The competitions is either other operation methods or methods. So it could be, for example, Milgram-Morgan hemorrhoidectomy, where you surgically remove the hemorrhoids, and that usually leaves an open wound, and you get a lot of pain after the procedure, and you need like almost up to several weeks or a month sick leave and so on. The most used treatment method is rubber band ligation. There you have several producers. The rubber band ligation is equally easy to perform as the PEX-easy, but has a more than 50% recurrence rate. So you have to redo the procedure several times in order to get a good effect. And if you summarize these repeated treatments, you actually get a higher cost than one single PEX-easy treatment. And then there are, for example, THD or HALRAR. There are two similar manufacturers. They perform mucopexy in their treatment with this method where you lift up the mucosa, but they add that you should ligate the supplying arteries to the rectum. But several articles have shown that ligating these arteries doesn't improve the result. So they are much more expensive, but with the equal result.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Johan, for answering all questions. Thank you, dear jury members, for the questions. Now is the time to move to our fourth company of the afternoon, and I would like to invite Christina to share her screen.
You see my screen, right?
Yes, we can see your screen. The floor is yours.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christina. I'm the CEO and the co-founder of Terapet. Before founding Terapet, I have been working as a physicist at CERN for the last 12 years. At Terapet, we are developing a novel medical device that will bring the proton therapy for cancer treatment to the next level. Proton therapy is a new technology using high energy protons to treat cancer. It's the most precise radiotherapy on the market and provides the patients with minimum damage to healthy tissues and organs. It's a fast growing market and doubling every 5 years during the last few decades. So we all believe it's the future for radiotherapy. Although the proton therapy itself is extremely precise, all the treatments today are only relying on simulations, and there's no real-time monitoring during the treatment, and it tells the doctors where inside the patients the protons really arrive. Because of this, the doctors have to be conservative. When they plan the treatment, they have to add large margins around the tumor in order to make sure that all the cancer cells are killed, which means unnecessary damage to the patients. If the tumor has a size of clementine, why would you treat it as an orange? That's exactly what we want to change at Terapet. Our product is an add-on medical device to the existing proton therapy facilities. It will be placed close to the patients during the treatment and measure where inside the patients the protons really arrive. So for the first time, the doctors will be able to see where inside the patients the protons arrive in 3D, in real time, in vivo, and in a non-invasive way. By knowing where exactly inside the patients the protons arrive, we can further reduce margins around the tumor in order, which means a safer and a more precise treatment for the patients. So for the doctors, the treatment is more precise. For the patients, the treatment is safer. And for the proton therapy facilities, the treatment will be faster. And for the society in general, more cancer patients will be able to benefit from the best technology on the market. So today, the addressable market is already worth 750 million Swiss franc for our product, considering a unit price of 1.5 million Swiss franc. And the market is expecting to double every 5 years. So our business model is quite straightforward. Since the market is very niche and relatively small, but with a great growth of potential. So for the moment, our go-to-market strategy is direct sale to the proton therapy facilities, our end user, starting with well-established partners in Europe. So the initial sale will be taken care of by our management team, field experts, and we will use our extensive network to reach out to all the existing facilities. So we are a team of experienced physicists from the world's most well-known research institute, and we have a renowned field experts and experienced businessmen, strongly supported by the Swiss startup ecosystem, as well as on the European level. So we are confident to bring the company to the next level. So we are a fast-growing team. Within less than 1 year since the incorporation of the company, we managed to raise more than 3 million Swiss francs. And since the beginning of 2021, we are growing our team to 9 FTE, working on the development of the full-scale prototype ready for the CE certification. We are collaborating with world-class research institutes like CERN, Karolinska Klinik, and Polyme in Milano. So we are currently raising our Series A round, and I would like to benefit from this opportunity to invite new investors to join us. So please take contact with me so that I can tell you more about this round. And finally, on behalf of our multidisciplinary Terapet team, I would like to thank you all for your attention and join us for the next generation proton therapy to fight cancer. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina, for the presentation. I can see that the first question is waiting for you in the chat from Christine.
Yeah. Yes, hello, Christina. Very good to see the progress that you made. I think I saw you 2 years ago, and there's a very big leap forward. One question, how difficult is it to integrate into existing centers in terms of hardware, and also in terms, if you basically you would put it into the gantry, I think, and how difficult is it also to integrate into the treatment planning software, which is also key, basically, I think, that you integrate in the whole software system of the proton therapy centers?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Actually, it's a very detailed question right now. So all these things that we have been thought about it, and we can discuss more in detail offline if you are interested.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, but it's a very good question, really, indeed. It's a challenging, but we are solving it.
Okay.
Thank you. Then let's move to the next question from class.
Yeah. So this is an area where actually the treatment and the needed setups are very, very expensive. So hundreds of millions of euro for a treatment center. How much money do you expect that you need to raise to really not only deliver, integrate maybe a prototype, but to be in full-on sales mode with a certified and ready product?
Yeah, we calculated we need at least 16 million to bring our product out to the market.
16 or 60?
16.
16.
Yes. So we already raised 3 million now. Then we are looking for 5 million until the end of 5 million will be closed by end of this year or maybe the beginning of next year. So this will bring us to a full milestone that is full clinical validated full-scale prototype ready for CE certification. Then the next milestone will be CE mark and the initial production.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you. The next question comes from Sasha.
Yeah, hi, thanks, Christina, for the presentation. Maybe I've overheard it, but is it a pure software solution or does it include the hardware loop that was shown in the picture as well? And how relates a bit to Christina's question, how to integrate into the solutions, but so it's combined hardware software solution.
Exactly. So our final product is a hardware, it's detector itself, integrated together with the software that is to reading the output from the outcome from the detectors. Then of course, we would like to integrate into the beam delivery system to control whether the beam goes to the right direction or not. This is a complete turnkey solution.
Okay, I would have an additional question related to the sensitivity and specificity, because on the one hand side, you just want to treat as less as possible healthy tissue, but on the other hand side, you want to cover the whole tumor. So how does the doctor at the end of the day deal with it?
Because it depends a lot where the tumor is located. I mean, if you are talking about the brain tumor in your head, 1 millimeter, it means a lot, right? And 1 millimeter in the stomach maybe means less. It depends really individual on the patients and on the tumor type. But of course, today, you don't have a solution to see at all. So even if you want to reduce in the brain, you cannot do it. If you have our solution, then you can see where the beam is delivered, then you have the possibility to reduce it, right? So this is very individual. It depends on the tumor types.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Christina, for answering these questions. The next one is also there from Peter.
Hey, Christina, does your business model also counts on potentially licensing technology to device manufacturers? Why would you want to deal with making the hardware and so on and do it after the fact, as opposed to, when the facility is built, include that directly with the devices?
Exactly. So I think I showed a bit too fast the business model slides. In fact, we have 2 stages, because the first stage is that we want to do direct sale, since the market is rather niche and relatively small. So we have 120 facilities in the world at this moment. For the existing facilities, we have the capacity to do the direct sale. But for the future facilities, it will be a licensing model that we license our technology directly to the proton therapy manufacturers. In that way, they will build their future device, including our solutions in it already. This is the second step in the business development.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for the questions, for the answers as well. We are moving forward to the 4th company of the day, and I would like to invite Sebastiano from Angiodroid to come on stage. Wonderful, we can see your screen.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. First of all, good afternoon and thank you very much for the kind invitation. I'm Sebastiano Zannoli, founder and CEO of Angiodroid, an Italian biomedical startup based in Bologna, Italy, that developed the first medical equipment to use carbon dioxide as a contrast medium in angiography. To perform an angiographic examination, it's necessary to inject a contrast agent into the blood. Normally, iodinated contrast media are injected which are nephrotoxic and can cause severe allergic reaction. An alternative must therefore be found, especially for patients with renal insufficiency. The solution is to use carbon dioxide as an alternative to iodinated contrast medium. Carbon dioxide is biocompatible and does not cause any kidney damage to the patient. Furthermore, the angiographic result is completely equivalent. In the past, manual injection has always been used, which in addition to producing pain for patients, has a high risk of contamination with air. Angiodroid has developed the first automatic carbon dioxide injector as a contrast medium in angiography to overcome the limitation of the manual injection. Angiodroid exceeded 500 units and more than 55,000 disposable materials sold to date, reaching more than 30 market clearances in 52 countries worldwide. The technology is fully covered by patents, and we also obtained a freedom to operate validation to confirm market potentiality. In addition, more than 30 papers validated the use of the technology and its standardization in the daily clinical practice. Some of the most famous interventional vascular surgeons take part in our academy, and some international guidelines underlines the use of carbon dioxide angiography with the power injector as a standard. We are also presenting the official product catalog of major companies like Philips, Siemens, and we have strong relationship with Medtronic, that is our distributor in Italy. Our main competitors are companies that supply manual injection systems. In addition to these, we know 2 projects that have not been successful in the past and the still prototype system developed by Malek Medical in Germany. Currently, our business model is the sale through distributors in different countries of the world. To date, in addition to 500 capital equipment, we sold more 55,000 disposable materials with 0 adverse events for patients in a market represented by 45,000 operating rooms. The company has been profitable since 2017. We had a slowdown during 2020 due to the pandemic, and we are confident that this year will return to the same level of turnover and profitability as in 2019 to resume our growth process. Our idea is to grow the company in the next few years in an important way for the listing of the stock exchange or for the sale to a major company in the sector. So the question is how to scale up. We have 2 projects. The first is Go Direct in Europe. The second is USA and China markets development. Go Direct means selling through a network of direct sellers instead of using national distributors. This is our plan for activating direct resources in European countries in the next 3 years. This year we start the project in Germany and France. New markets use US and China. The achievement of the FDA certification is expected for the second half of 2021, while the Chinese one is expected for the second half of 2022. These 2 major markets alone account for around 50% of the global market. We are building also strategic partnership with Airgas, again Medtronic, Siemens, and Philips for the US market. In the graph, you can see our growth forecast without further investment, as usual, in blue, and investing in new resources in the 2 projects, Go Direct and the US and China, the green line. So we need to look for at least 5 million euros in order to move from the blue line to the green one and to reach the 7% of the potential market. The IPO or a trade sale is expected within 2025. The team is represented at first by our 3 shareholders, MetaVenture, Ungerstedt, and Italian Angels for Growth. And I want to point about also the board of directors that is represented by me, Andrea Venturelli, the past founder and CEO of InvestTech. InvestTech has been sold 7 years ago for about $500 million. And Massimo Ceccarelli, with more than 30 years of experience in Medtronic and Boston Scientific. We know that that a lot depends on the quality of the people that run the company and build the project. And here you can see my team that is represented by more than 20 people that works with me in Bologna. Thank you so much for your attention, and I am fully available for your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Sebastiano, for the presentation. We're opening now the time for questions from the audience. Who would like to go first? I can see that Peter has a question to you.
Yes, hey, thanks, Sebastiano, for presentation. Where do you manufacture or will manufacture the device?
We manufacture everything in Italy. We have a team of subcontractors near Bologna, and the subcontractors are used in order to have the chance to scale up the project. So we are looking for money not to increase the manufacturing plant, but to spend the money to build the network in the market and to achieve more and more units in the market in terms of sales. The product is made in Italy, let's say. Everything is made in Italy.
I'm not sure. Did you mention the patents status? Yes. Sorry, can you repeat that?
The patents are obtained and confirmed in Europe, and we are waiting for the achievement in the United States. It's obtained also in Brazil, and we are extending the second generation of patents in the same country, but also in Russia, Japan, and Israel.
You're also considering potentially licensing the technology to manufacturers?
It could be feasible. We are discussing about a manufacture of iodinated contrast injector in order to develop the first hybrid machine that is able to manage the injection of both iodine and gas. This means to build together a new technology, and probably in this case, we will think about licensing the patents.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. The next question in the chat comes from Christine.
Yes, hello. Maybe I have missed it, I must admit, but the thing is, how does it compare cost-wise per treatment? How cost-effective is it?
Yes. So we based the cost of the machine on the standard cost of an iodine injector. So the cost is the same for the customer. The customer pay 35K for a iodine injector and pays 35K for Angiodroid. The difference is that using Angiodroid, you have not the cost of iodine, of the drug, because the CO2 has no cost. Yep. So in any procedure, the saving in terms of money is about 60 to 80 euros per procedure. And this is the reason for the advantage for the user is really high. Normally, our customer in 6 months can cover the investment. Yeah. Then we have an additional cost for the disposable that is totally aligned on the cost of the disposable of the iodinated contrast injector. Okay. So we have not additional cost, but we have the saving of the cost of iodine.
Very well. Thank you.
And we have not the risk for patient. We have not the dialysis for 3 to 4 days for the patient, the cost for hospitalization, and blah blah blah.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Sebastiano, for the presentation and for answering all the questions. We have now the pleasure to invite the last company of the afternoon, and I would like to give the floor to Anna to introduce her company.
Yes, hello, everyone. Can you see the screen, right?
Yes, we can see it whenever you're ready.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anna Zhenchuk, and I'm the CEO of BioAnalyt, a company developing game-changing point-of-care diagnostic solution to a global healthcare problem, anemia. Anemia is the most common blood disorder that affects 1 in 4 persons globally. 20% of all maternal death are attributed to anemia, and it doubles the mortality risk after surgeries. To date, not much progress has been made in tackling anemia. One reason is lack of accurate and accessible diagnostics that leads to ineffective treatment. Diagnosis for underlying cause for anemia is necessary to select a correct course of treatment. However, current point-of-care solutions only diagnose presence or absence of anemia, while the required laboratory testing that can do the job is not sufficiently accessible. At BioAnalyt, we have tackled this challenge by developing iCheck Anemia, a portable device to instantly diagnose anemia and iron deficiency, anemia's major cause. It is a patented technology to measure key biomarkers in a single drop of blood. For our main target customer segments, iCheck Anemia can deliver substantial benefits. For primary care clinics, it is reduction in misdiagnosis and increased revenues from in-house tests. For blood donation centers, it's lower rate of deferrals for return donors and higher blood donations volume. And for hospitals, it is improved general post-surgery outcomes, cost savings through optimized blood patient management, and reduced hospital stay. Market potential in Europe is estimated 124 million tests per year based on the number of surgeries, blood donations, and births per year. This figure translates into 1 billion tests for global market. Global point-of-care testing market is currently valued at 25 billion euros, and within this market, anemia testing is currently valued at 3.5 billion euros. We are aiming to deliver 20 million tests a year by 2027 and reach 60 million euros in sales. The market potential and demand has been corroborated by key stakeholders and customers, including WHO itself, Red Cross donation centers, and major hospitals. We have distinct differentiation against the competitors who can be categorized into 2 groups: laboratory-bound testing and point-of-care testing. Laboratory testing is expensive, infrastructure intense, and time-consuming, while point-of-care testing offers poor diagnostic power by failing to diagnose the underlying condition for anemia. Our iCheck Anemia combines the strengths of laboratory diagnostic power with price and convenience of point-of-care solution. To further strengthen our position, we have a 4-level IP strategy protecting this and future innovations. Our business model replicates that of printer cartridge, one-time sale of analytical device, and then repeat sales of the consumables. The single-use cuvettes are free of any chemicals and cost just €2 a test, making both accessible and affordable, especially for low-resource settings. With an average user performing 400 tests a year per device over a 5-year period, consumables multiply the revenue per device by a factor of 3, while gross profit stays at 80%. Over time, we expect 70% of our revenues to come from consumables and return customers. Our existing products for food testing, animal, and public health are already used in almost 80 countries. We have strong network and customers among industry and governments and NGOs. Our team has decades of experience in developing and deploying point-of-care testing products in the field. Furthermore, we are supported by expert advisory board. To date, we have finalized functional prototype, ran internal validation, deployed the device for field trials, submitted 2 patents in Europe, and are halfway through ISO 13485 certification. Next, we will focus on translating the prototype into serial production, completing trials, and obtaining necessary regulatory approvals. For successful go-to-market of medical devices, case studies and clinical data are crucial. We already have ongoing studies with COVID-19 vaccines, We also have a lineup of stakeholders and customers to run further clinical trials. We will leverage our existing sales structures and network to rapidly enter public health in both low and high income countries. Our next steps would include developing agreements with major hospital groups and blood donation associations. And as we secure reimbursement through insurance, we will push the product through both direct sales and distributors for further scale up and reach our target 20 million tests a year. We need 2.2 million to bring this critical innovation to market. We expect positive results within 3 years and return on investment of over 300% within a 5-year period. This funding is needed to get us from TLR 6 or technology level readiness 6 to 9, what would empower us to enter market with strong segment-specific business cases and clinical data. Investing in BioAnalyt will impact health of millions, all while doubling the investment. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna, for the presentation. I can see that there is already the first question for you waiting in the chat. Joseph, would you like to go?
Yeah, thank you very much, and great presentation, and nice to see this application. So one of the challenges I see is I see so many point-of-care diagnostic devices that promise high-precision multiplex diagnosis of a variety of diseases using the same sort of printer cartridge or razor blade model, and I'm just wondering, what is the IP edge on this, and if this is completely designed for, say, blood analysis, are you going to unfairly restrict yourselves to, say, blood donation sites versus more general clinical practice settings where they're going to be tired of having 10 different readers and 10 different cartridge technologies in their clinic?
Thank you for the question. So our expertise, because this is what we've been doing actually in the past, is developing point-of-care solutions for testing different nutrients in both foods and other biological fluids. So we have the experience of what does it mean to bring it into a point-of-care device, and we have experience specifically with the technology we're using in this one. So we're building on our previous experience. Well, we know how to.
Right. What is the technology?
We're using the front phase fluorescence for one of the biomarkers, and there's basically an integrated dynamic measurement of the 2 biomarkers simultaneously. And then we also have specifically developed this cuvette that that would work with this technology, the fluorescence technology.
Okay.
And the key here is fluorescence is a very sensitive technique that needs a lot of stabilization in environments, and the device is targeted to actually be used in the field. So currently the trials actually in Kenya with vaccines and COVID-19 vaccines, sort of in as rough environment as it gets to get the accurate results.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Anna, for answering the first question. The second one comes from Klaas.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you mentioned it, but what would be your the countries you target first or the most? And is this actually the same as the countries where the highest need for this is, or if not, can you bring that together?
So we would have to go in a bit sort of parallel ways, because we already have a standing and positioning amongst the public health in developing. So with UN organizations, health ministries, and public health authorities in developing countries, so Africa, Asia. This is going to be sort of what we're going to leverage initially, because this they basically are waiting for the solution to purchase from us as soon as we develop. And then, of course, then we're going to target sort of, let's say, more profitable markets in Europe and United States, starting with Europe and Germany first.
I hope this answers your question, Klaas. Okay, thank you so much. Another question, a very last one, quick one. We have some time for it.
Thank you, Lisa.
Then wonderful. Thank you so much, everybody, for the questions, for the answers given, and for this session. We are approaching the end of it, to be honest, and I would like just to remind you one more time, the expert jury members, that you have the link to the evaluation. This will be anonymous and it will help the companies perform better in other events and for their further development. More or less, this was it from our side. Thank you so much. We're going to share a link into the chat right now with the satisfaction survey. Help us with your feedback, perform better and make a better session next time. And of course, I would like to remind you about the one-to-one meetings happening this evening, tomorrow evening, and the afternoon on Friday. I wish you a wonderful afternoon. I hope to see the faces of most of you also in the next sessions. And yeah, see you soon. Have a lovely afternoon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Looking